This is Spinnaker3 here with an Alliance War video. This is Alliance War number 2. I lost the footage for Alliance War 1. Just know I did have a death. I'm looking to do the rest of the season death list though. And up first is a steady build-up Fury Void with long-distance relationship. So I'm taking it with Archangel. Archangel is just perfect for this fight because I keep him far away with the parry-heavy playstyle. And my neurotoxins can prevent some of Void's debuffs from going on me. Right here, I only have 2 Neuros though, so the debuff does get on me, so I get to 10 hits to Purify. And I'm also able to prevent some of the triggers of long distance relationship from getting on me. But you notice right here, Void has 3 Neuros on him, and so as soon as the debuff gets on me, it doesn't even get placed. So that's really nice for this fight. And you notice that there is going to be a time in this fight where I don't have that many Neuros on me. So right here, I have 2 Neurotoxins on Void, and unfortunately, I get bad RNG here, don't get any Neuros, but the debuff still doesn't trigger. And this is honestly one of the showcases of how even getting Archangel past Sig 112 can be beneficial. My Archangel is Sig 132, so that even when you have those extra debuffs or extra Neuros on the opponent, and you can't actually get up to 3, you can still block out more abilities. Now, this next one is a Rage Namor, and I was really debating taking Archangel into this fight, and ultimately I decided not to because Namor can reflect damage back, and even though Archangel can prevent some of it with his Neuros, Archangel will still be taking some reflected damage back, and that's just going to be potions, right? I am super confident that Guardian can get this solo, and Guardian is just really good for Rage, and here's why. Because Guardian can't naturally crit, the chances of Guardian actually hitting the Rage damage cap, even with class advantage in this fight, is very, very slim unless I throw a special 2. And spoiler alert, I'm just going to play it super safe, not even throw a single special 2, and you notice that my parries are doing 0 damage back to me. Like, Guardian here is max Sig, so his parries are all going to do 0 damage back. So this just means that this fight is just so safe, and I'm really getting him down not that slowly. It's a pretty quick fight relatively. Obviously, Archangel would be quicker, but that's more potions, and I'm trying to save items. I don't really need to save items, but if I can ever save items, I will always do that just because as a free-to-play player, I don't want to have to be spending resources on these kinds of potions and stuff if I possibly can. So right here, he does get pushed to Imperious Rex. You notice that he does get a Rage Fury from like Special 3, but this is the trade-off in my mind, right? I'm fine giving him 1 or 2 Furies from my Special 3. As long as he doesn't go unblockable, this fight is going to be very safe. So I'm not even going to try to go for any kind of fancy shenanigans on his specials to try and perfect block it for extra power. I'm just trying to do a classic Guardian fight. Now, probably here could have thrown the special 2 and it would have killed him because, again, there's so much shock damage, so much extra burst damage as well, that the special 2 does a considerable amount of damage even when it's capped by rage. So I probably could have thrown it, probably should have thrown it, but I just decided to play it safe, throw another special 3. I decided if I get to a special 2, I'll throw it, right? But this fight is going so quickly that it probably won't even get there. And this just perfectly captures the reason why I love using Guardian here. 100% health. If I used Archangel, I can assure you that from the block damage and the reflected debuff damage, I would not have gotten a perfect solo with 100% health. But that's why I love using Guardian there, and that's why it was a safe option. So up next is this Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is on Aggression Prowess. And this can be quite scary if you're not good at dexing Doctor Doom's special 2. But I have so much practice doing it. If you want to check out a video, I have like a Mojo solo of Doctor Doom in the Gauntlet where I just only bait out his special 2. So I kind of see Power Focus 2 as a win in this fight because I love baiting his special 2 compared to his special 1. I just find it much safer. And you notice his first special he threw was his Aura of Hazarath got up. It was a special 1. So I just had to wait that out. That's why I was playing a little passively. But you notice now I'm back in business. I get the clean special 2 dex. You want to dex both beams and then dex the third one when his arm reaches out. Very simple timing, at least because I have a lot of practice with it. If you're going into this fight blind, it can be very tricky. So I'd recommend practicing this a lot before you actually start doing it in war when it's a little riskier. But here you notice he threw his special one, and he didn't go unblockable, nor did he trigger his aura. And the reason for that is because Void can put petrifies on the opponent. And Doctor Doom actually has a way of preventing his Aura of Hazarath if he has either a Petrify or a Slow on him. This is something that I see people commonly forget, but it's actually really helpful in situations like this. You notice I threw my special 2, which I just had the right amount of power to do so, and it put a double weakness on Doctor Doom, which is actually kind of nice because it means the amount of damage he does through my block is going to be a little less for that duration. And with a combination of Void's debuff damage and the reversed healing from the Petrifies and the Fear of the Void, I was able to take that Doctor Doom down without taking too much chip damage, which was pretty nice. So up next is Miniboss Island, and I'm going to be taking the entire left side, starting off with this Mole Man on Rage. Now, Mole Man on Rage, I guess it can be a tricky fight, but I have Archangel, which is basically a cheat code to this entire fight, just because every bleed Archangel puts on the opponent reduces their purification ability accuracy by 25%. So my first heavy put 4 bleeds on the opponent. That means that Mole Man is not going to be purifying any of my debuffs. And all of a sudden, I'm just free to parry heavy as I want. And this Mole Man, I don't think he's running Limber either, or at least Limber maxed. And so I'm getting so many neurotoxins. I have like 9 on Mole Man right now. Literally, the fight is over right now. I just need to bait out this special 2, maybe attack him a few times. And in 40 seconds, this fight goes down. So after this Archangel fight, which is pretty simple, I do have an Apocalypse fight, and I do have Guardian, which is, again, like I said, Archangel is the cheat code for Mole Man. Guardian's kind of the cheat code for Apocalypse, just because this fight is so safe. And I'm going to be trying to utilize his perfect block on specials. Now, a good friend of mine named DLL, we've been going back and forth about the quote unquote better way to perfect block Apocalypse's specials. And we sort of agreed that it really comes down to personal preference. You can either perfect block the first 2 and then dex the last, or dex the first one and perfect block the last 2. I personally find dexing the first hit and perfect blocking the last 2 to be simpler, like I do right here. But it really comes down to what you want. I suggest experimenting around, figuring out what you like to do. But the reason I bring that up is because right here I had 3 bars of power and I was like, should I throw it? I should probably throw it. And so I kind of just held block and stood in the same place without actually going for the right timing. And I felt so bad because I just ate that special 1 to the face. And not only did I eat that special 1 to the face, I kind of felt like I ate my words there because DLL and I had really been going back and forth about that. But honestly, I do still think it still comes down to personal preference, and neither one is better. Although I do recommend checking out DLL's channel. He makes some great videos on Mr. Fantastic, Killmonger, and just general war content where it's just a tidbit of knowledge each time. He's a very intelligent guy. I'll be linking it in the description. Highly recommend checking it out. But after that first mishap, I decided to throw this special 1, get that weakness off of me, get for the actual perfect blocks this time. That's Dex, perfect block, perfect block. And yes, the timing can be a little tricky, but I find it easier. Personal preference. That's the last time I'll make that plug. But right here, I just need to throw my special 2, and I'm confident that this is going to do a lot of damage. And in fact, it gets Apocalypse down. Thank goodness for no Protect, because Protect really made this fight a lot more tricky with Guardian. Now, my final fight here is this Sorcerer Supreme on Aspect of Evolution, and I decided to equip a special 3 defense boost, an invulnerability boost, which I didn't really think I needed, but because the boosts have been appearing more predictably in the store, I decided it's just safer to throw it on. Now, there's also improved power gain, 50%. So even though Void has Petrifies, I'll need to get those Petrifies up to 3 Petrifies in order to actually stop her power gain. But that's the last thing on my mind in this fight because Void is so good for this fight. And that's because for Aspect of Evolution, every bar of power that Sorcerer Supreme gains will increase her attack, it'll increase her defense, it'll just boost up all her stats until there comes to be a point where you're hitting Sorcerer Supreme for peanuts, and she's able to regen a bunch of it back with her block rune, and she's pretty much out regenning every damage that you're able to deal, which is never a fun time. But the thing with Void is he does consistent debuff damage. And those debuff damages, they're not being reduced by any kind of aspect of evolution. Only my basic hits are. So that means this fight, I'm confident that no matter what, Sorcerer Supreme is going to go down in the end, just because the steady stream of debuff damage will definitely tick her down. Not to mention the fact that my Petrifies will cut down her healing all the way, and so I'm just not worried at all. Here I throw my special 2, which puts the Dark Stings on Sorcerer Supreme. And unfortunately, I do end up taking 2 hits. But like I said, I'm not really worried about those 2 hits. She had double weakness as well. Those 2 hits would definitely not have killed me. So I do think the invulnerability boost is probably wasted. But hey, better safe than sorry, especially when you're in the season and you're really trying to make a push for a higher tier. So right here, this fight is going so smoothly. I have the equivalent of 4 petrifies on her. Her healing's getting reversed. Her power gain is locked down. And that's the end of the fight right here. So very nice fight. Our battle group had a spectacular war. We only died 4 times across the whole battle group, and one of them was to a bugged Black Widow Deadly Origin. So I don't even really count that. And overall, I'm going to be trying to come out with more war content soon. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal, and I'll catch you later.